When I'd heard from Nemesis, the Coalition's commander, saying she'd arranged for Penelope to meet me in Florence, I was ecstatic. Not only could I get out of my base in Tropea for a few days, but it would be to visit a place where I'd once lived and knew she'd love. At one time, we were supposed to go undercover together as an engaged couple. Then, the plan had been to infiltrate an art forgery ring. That part of the mission was sidelined when the investigation became about something far more sinister: human trafficking. I was thankful every day that her intended involvement had been dropped. The only downside was not seeing the woman I loved as often as I'd grown used to. Keeping her safe was worth it, though. I stopped to check the arrival board and saw she was coming into Gate 8. "Thanks again, Max," I said, extending my hand to shake his. "Oh, no! I want to see this woman who's taken away my wingman." I laughed. "It's been a long time since our days in Milan." "Not so long for me," he said with a wink. "The plane is pulling up now." I rushed over so that when she exited the jetway, I'd be the first person she saw. "Settle down, my friend," Max said when passenger after passenger came out the door, but not my butterfly. "She has to have flown first class. Why wasn't she one of the first off the plane?" I said, as much to myself as to him. "Let me check." Max walked over to the gate agent, who checked her computer, then shook her head. "She wasn't on the plane," he reported. She had to have been. I pulled out my mobile and checked the flight number and arrival time. I had the right one. So where was she? When I rang Penelope and it went straight to voicemail, the second call I made was to Nemesis. "Hey, Michelangelo, got our girl?" "Actually, I do not. She wasn't on the flight." "What do you mean?" "I checked with the gate agent, who said she never boarded." "Have you tried contacting her?" "Wait, sorry, that was a stupid question. It's not an excuse, but I've been traveling all day, and my brain is a mush. Give me a few minutes, and I'll see what I can find out." When I received a text a short while later, I expected it to be from her. It wasn't. As I read the words on the screen, sent from an unknown number, the blood in my veins turned ice cold. "I know who you are, and if you ever want to see your butterfly again, you'll follow my instructions to the letter. Tell no one about this message, or she will die before sunrise."
1. Butterfly. Previous September. "Hello, Butterfly." I raised my head. Even if I hadn't recognized the man who walked into my gallery or his sexier-than-shit British accent, I would have known who he was. Only Brando Ripa had ever called me by the nickname. I blinked more than once, stood, and walked toward him. "Brand? Is it really you?" "It hasn't been that long," he said, winking. My eyes scrunched as we embraced and cheek-kissed. "I thought you were in prison." He stepped back but still held both my hands in his. "Out on good behavior." I raised a brow, retreating far enough so we no longer touched. Somehow, I doubt that was the reason. While I winked and smiled, I wasn't being facetious. The man hadn't behaved a day in his life, as far as I remembered. His eyes softened. "How are you, Butterfly?" "Penelope or Pen." "And fine." "Are you? Truly?" I retreated to the desk where I'd been sitting when he walked in, leaned against it, and looked everywhere but at him. His physical beauty had always been my undoing. Spending time in prison hadn't diminished it in the slightest. "Why wouldn't I be?" "May I?" he asked, pointing to a chair. "Of course." As I looked into his gray-green eyes, he reached up, unintentionally flexing the powerful muscles of his upper arm, and ran his hand through his sandy brown hair. It was longer than I'd ever seen it, which likely meant he'd been out of prison for some time. I wondered how long.